Welcome class to Risology 101. Today we're going to take a look at one of our graduates. You're all wondering what the easiest way to pull a baddie is, so today we will show you how to get it done. Now grab your pencils, stop tugging your sausage and listen up. Our hero today is Ray White. He's a graduate of quantum physics and he just enrolled at a new high school to practice his degree. He immediately finds his first target when a green-haired girl bumps into him. Bro wastes no time and puts that degree to good use, rizzing her up immediately. He has good eyes too. From this angle, you can tell she's got fresh melons for sale. I hope you're taking notes, class. This will be on the test. While he's talking with her, her friends realize that he's a normie. In this school, anyone who doesn't have an overflowing bank account is considered a normie. And yes, that does mean your broke ass can't get in. Green hair gets disgusted by poverty and backs away from him, and then our man gets confronted by a group of snobs. Some loser named Albert tries to put Mick down. I will call him King Snob because I don't like this dude. Our Mick definitely doesn't give a fuck either. While King Snob tries and fails to be intimidating, Ray's uncut riz attracts a new baddie. Her name's Amelia, and she's so hot, she manages to stop the trouble. Now, what did Ray do here that you could learn from class? That's right, he left his mum's basement and actually touched some grass. Ray heads to the entrance ceremony, and after the principal gives a short speech, then calls the student representative to speak. Turns out it's Amelia. Our boy really pulled a jackpot here. Afterward, they go to class and Ray introduces himself. King Snob over in the back is angry that Ray managed to pull a baddie like Amelia. He tries to insult Ray, but even the teacher has been rizzed up and puts a stop to it. He's only been here for a day, but bro already has a harem. It's not enough for Ray though. During class, he notices another potential baddie in a hood at the end of the classroom. He tracks her down to the library after class and once again puts that Risology degree to good use. Baddie number 2 is a half-elf named Alyssa. She's almost immediately swooning for Ray, and they only just met. Ray's satisfied with his second catch and heads back to his dorm. He meets his new roommate Evie and they get along well and... wait. Why the fuck did they take off their clothes? This isn't that kind of anime. The next day, Evie and Ray walk to school. Ray splits off from Evie to meet the principal. On his way, Ray bumps into another cute girl. She's a weirdo, but bro has no problems rizzing her up. Her name is Clarice. She is super weird though. He meets up with the principal. They refer to each other like old friends, and we find out Ray is a retired Magic Army veteran. After meeting the principal, Ray heads to his first class. It's a sparring class, and Ray gets paired up with King Snob. The whole school probably thought they were about to watch a normie get his ass wiped, but those Risology classes also gave him self-defense courses. King Snob gets dusted immediately. After school, Ray and Evie head back to their dorm. Hold up, what the fuck is going on in there? Oh, they're just working out. Ignore this part, class. This is not what we teach. We only pull baddies in this course. Anyway, the next day, Ray heads over to a sauna. Okay, seriously, what is with all the buff naked men? Where are the bouncing watermelons when you need them? This isn't supposed to be a sausage fest. They ask him to take off his clothes so they can talk to him. They're the Environmental Research Club, and they conduct field experiments outdoors. After confirming that Ray is manly enough to join them, they welcome him into their club. Next, Ray visits the gardening club. Finally, a room of baddies. He says he wants to join the club because he likes flowers. They warn him that he'll be the only boy in the club, but our boy reminds them that he's a certified Risologist. One of the club members protests. The club leader, Rebecca, realizes Ray hasn't worked his magic on her yet, so he tells Dina to give him a test. She takes him to the roof of one of the school buildings that has a patch of land overgrown with weeds. His task from her is to clear out the land and make it useful as a garden. She gives him a week to do it and smugly leaves thinking he won't be able to pull it off. Ray gets to work. He's fueled by the thought of being surrounded by fun bags on a daily basis. After the sausage fest earlier, it is definitely deserved. By the second day, he's pretty much almost done. Rebecca visits him to give him a boost and a snack. She's probably also attracted by the rock-hard body this guy has. And yes, you too can have this body if your diet didn't consist of only Doritos and soda. She asks to touch his body, and Ray is definitely no man to refuse that kind of request. By the fourth day, Ray has finished building the garden. Needless to say, he passed the test. In their next class, the teacher announces a forest practical exam for the students. Evie joins up with Ray immediately. Then he uses charm on Alyssa. It's super effective. Amelia also joins their group, completing the 4. The practicals begin and the students gather in the forest. The goal is to reach the center of the forest in 24 hours. They head into the forest and Ray's group makes good time. At the rate they're going, they could easily be the first to finish. While they were moving, a scream came from deeper in the forest. Ray rushed to find where it came from. The sound gives him a bad feeling. He finds King Snob and his group being attacked by a large monster and saves them. The prick rejects Ray's help as if he wasn't over here begging for his life a few seconds ago. The rest of Ray's group catches up and tries to help out. A strange person in the shadows revives the monster, making it stronger than before. Ray and his group work together to take out the monster. Their teamwork reminds Ray of his old military team. Everyone is impressed at Ray's abilities. Even King Snob can't bring himself to be an asshole for once. Ray's group carries on with the practicals. They finish first, which pisses everyone else off, because a normies group managed to outclass them. Ray meets up with the former Iceblade Sorcerer. She reveals that he is her successor, the modern-day Iceblade Sorcerer and one of the 7 greatest sorcerers in the world. Now I know what you're thinking, class. How can I, a virgin Reddit mod, compete with one of the strongest of his generation? Stick around and learn from him. You'll get a few tips on how to be less sad. She tells him that she's working on research that studies the brain and sorcery in it. Then she warns him about an organization that is looking to study the human brain by experimenting on people. They are called eugenics. After that, they have a small chat, and she tells him she wants to see his friends next time. Ray is happy to be living a normal life. Back in school, Ray runs into Alyssa while on a morning jog. They end up going on a date. While out, they run into Clarice and invite her to lunch with them. Take notes, class. This man can passively pull hose on the way. He introduces both of them, and just take a look at how he talks about them. This guy really is putting his degree to good use. Once he's done with lunch with the girls, he runs into Amelia. Bro cannot get a break. The baddies just keep coming. He tells her about his date with Alyssa and Clarice. She gets jealous and asks for a date too. They go to the mall and she tries out different clothes for him. She points out his potent riz. He tells her he was taught by the best riz professionals in the country. She's so impressed, she runs out at him without thinking. Watch and learn, class. If you want hot ready heads to run at you in their underwear, make sure to like and subscribe. Ray heads to his club room after school. The other club members weren't going to show up today. It was just him and Rebecca.
Yeah, boy.
He walks into the clubroom and catches her in the middle of changing. Now, why exactly is she changing with the door unlocked, knowing the only other person coming in today was the only boy in the club? The answer is always because of plot. Ray already knows how this goes and leaves before she can punt him in the nuts. They hang out briefly, and Ray asks her about the 3 top families. Rebecca and Amelia are part of 2 of the 3 top families. Amelia is the leader of the Rose family. Rebecca tells Ray that the 3rd family's leader could be a rival to Amelia. I wonder how hot the 3rd baddie must be. Later, they're having a sparring tournament in class to choose who will represent the academy at the sorcery swordsmanship tournament. Amelia decides she wants to see Ray's stick game in action. She challenges him to a spar. Amelia keeps him on the run for a while with fast strikes, but Ray hits back with a parry and goes in to win. He feels a pain in his hand right as he's about to strike, which causes him to drop his sword. Amelia wins by default, but she knows Ray must be hiding some serious strength. King Snob challenges Ray to a duel, as if that went well for him the last time. But this time something's different. There's a barrier to prevent anyone from hearing or seeing them, and King Snob wants to fight with real swords and magic. He sends several lethal magic attacks at Ray, but Ray dodges all of them easily and slices through them with his sword. Ray destroyed his attacks so easily, King Snob dropped to his knees and gave up in frustration. After seeing that incredible fight, Amelia and his friends finally demand for him to tell them the truth. Before he can tell them, a powerful spell pushes them all to the ground. Their teacher steps out of the forest. Turns out she was the person messing with them from the shadows this entire time, and now Ray needs to fight her. She wants to use everyone there for a sacrifice. Ray promises to tell them everything after the fight. While they're fighting, Gray tries to attack Ray's friends. Ray is forced to use his ultimate technique that he learnt from his master. Ray defeats her and forces to use a dangerous curse in her necklace. She gets stronger and uglier all in one, and Ray has to use all he can to defeat her once and for all. He uses ice shards to kill her and turn her into a pretty cool-looking sculpture. All his energy is drained, and he collapses while his friends run to pick him up. When he woke up, his master Lydia was waiting for him. She's relieved that he's okay and tells him that everyone is fine, and she's okay with his decision to reveal himself and use his powers. They leave and his friends come in. He tells them everything. Ray was an orphan and a lone survivor of his town after it was attacked in the war. He ended up being adopted by Lydia, and the generals in the army became his family. One day, one of the generals is killed in battle. Ray loses control of his powers and becomes overheated. Lydia gets injured, bringing him under control, and that paralyzes her. After all that, Lydia begs Abby to allow Ray to join her high school. His friends accept him and stand by him. He's happy to have found such great friends. Later at night, King Snob sneaks into the room, but Ray is awake and ready. Clearly, the little bitch finally realizes that Ray isn't someone he can fight with. He apologizes to Ray for all the bullshit he tried to pull. Ray accepts his apology and gives him advice on how to better himself. Later in school, a new teacher is introduced. She's one of the 7 strongest sorcerers, Carol. And damn, she leveled up from Ray's flashback. She looks like she upgraded to a new form. She definitely pulled a 5-star skin in the gacha. And all the power went to one very important place. Ray is obviously shocked, and maybe a little terrified by the new development. Ray goes to confront Abby about Carol being added to the school. She looks like she's going to suck his youthfulness right out of him. I'm scared of the woman who can make our expert on the field so scared. But I can't lie, that wouldn't be a bad way to go. The students continue practicing for the sorcery swordsmanship tournament. Amelia makes it through the preliminaries easily. Her father is expecting great things from her, so she can't fail. Meanwhile, Rebecca tells Ray about Amelia's rival. The third head of the top 3 families, Arian. She's strong, but Rebecca is confident that Amelia can pull through. Amelia manages to qualify for the sorcery swordsmanship tournament. Her opponent was King Snob. He was so inspired by Ray, he got a makeover. Maybe he might be redeemable after all. He managed to qualify for 2nd place. Ray notices that Amelia is anxious about her upcoming battles, so he offers to train her using his master's methods. Training starts the next day, and Ray doesn't go easy on her. He gives it to her so hard, she starts crying. Despite that, she keeps training with him. She's desperate to beat her childhood friend, Arian. Ray's training is a bit extreme. He wakes her up early in the morning in the weirdest ways, and chases her when she tries to skip training. Ray also asks the men from his exploration club to help cheer her on in the competition. The next day, Ray decides to infiltrate Arian's school. Here's another lesson to learn from the master class. If you want to get the baddies, you've got to think like a baddie. Be confident and strong. And our guy Ray must have a truckload of confidence to go out dressed as the hottest girl in this show. A wise man once said, sometimes it takes a real man to become best girl. And Ray is the manliest there is. Lily bumps into a young girl crying by herself. He decides to escort her to find her sister. The girl's name is Tiana, and Ray realizes she's Arian's little sister. While looking for her sister, Lily attracts a lot of stares from people around. Even as a girl, this guy just can't stop bagging the hoes. Bro truly has infinite riz. He just got her, and he's already taming all the girls with just a glance. They find her sister, and Lily sits to have a chat with her. Immediately, Arian can tell that Lily isn't a student at the school and is an imposter, so Ray drops the act. Although she didn't expect the gender swap. Ray introduces himself to her. She already knows him as the normie that joined one of the noble magic schools. I guess word of his riz travels fast. She decides to see this riz in action for herself and challenges him to a sword sparring match. Arian beats in a quick match. She's expectedly strong. After dropping off her little sister at home, Ray reveals that he's friends with Amelia and that he came to see her because of that. He tells her that Amelia will beat her in the sorcery swordsmanship tournament. After all, a person who has gone through his batchet training cannot lose. Ray returns to his school and on his way manages to meet and charm yet another girl. He's still a girl right now, and yet his uncut riz is too hard to ignore. Ray is really trying to become a Pokemon master with the way he's catching them all. He moves to leave, but she just can't let him go without learning his name. Ray introduces himself as Lily, and we find out that this is Rebecca's little sister, Maria. Lily is so hot, Maria instantly decides that she wants to study at his school. I wonder how she'll react when she finds out it's a pole and not a hole. The sorcery swordsmanship tournament finally arrives. After weeks of training with Ray, Amelia is finally ready to compete. Amelia easily beats her first round of fodder. Ray decides to head in to encourage King Snob. I guess I shouldn't call him that anymore. Albert is inside preparing for his next match. Ray gives him a little bit of encouragement and he heads out to compete. Unfortunately, this isn't Albert's day. He's fighting against the third best girl in the series. Who's second and first? Amelia is second obviously, and Ray is first. Don't judge me. Albert puts up a good fight, but he's battling against a waifu. The winner is obvious. During the cooldown between matches, Ray gets invited to a meeting with Lydia, Abby, and Carol. They tell him that an organization of people called the Grim Reapers has invaded the tournament. They want to abduct the nobles in the tournament and assassinate them. Amelia gets worried about her progress in the competition. Even though Rebecca and Arian move confidently through the stages, Amelia is still worried about how she's performing. Ray goes to encourage her. He tells her that he wants to touch her. He wants to understand her heart and make her comfortable, but he doesn't know how. She allows him inside to touch her. Her heart, I mean. She's scared that she might not be good enough to beat Arian, but Ray encourages her. He convinces her to believe in herself. Now pay attention here, class. If you want the girl to fall for you, you've got to be there for her when she needs you. Stop donating money so online thoughts can say your name. Go out there and get your own. The day of the final comes, and predictably, it's Amelia versus Arian. Ray gets word that Clarice and some other nobles have gone missing. It must be the Grim Reapers. He goes out to deal with the situation while Amelia and Arian have their match. He finds Clarice in the basement with a few other unconscious nobles. While he's checking up on her, he gets attacked by the Grim Reapers. He is forced to use his hidden powers again. It's so strong, it disrupts the match happening above ground. He successfully defeats them all and carries his prize out with him. Meanwhile, Amelia and Arian are having a heated fight. Arian gets pushed to her limit by Arian and is about to give up, but Ray appears to cheer her on. Amelia gets so horny that she gets an intense power boost. She unlocks a hidden power that, according to Carol, no one else in the world can use. With it, she becomes invincible. The thirst for our man's pipe must be intense. But the power looks like it's taking a huge toll on her as she's using it. They both fight with everything they have, but in the end, Amelia wins. She and Arian make up for their distance and congratulate each other. Despite everything that happens, Amelia is finally happy to be free of her worries after she won the competition. It's not over yet, however. In the senior competitions, Rebecca is competing in the finals. She's fighting against Lucas, someone who had previously caught even Ray's attention after winning his previous match in just 2 seconds. But we all know how it goes. Rebecca is the show's waifu. There's no way she could. Wait, what the fuck just happened? Lucas defeats Rebecca pretty much instantly. It happens so fast nobody even has a chance to blink. Lucas passes by Ray on his way out of the arena and instantly identifies him as the Iceblade Sorcerer. Ray also recognizes him as the successor of the Deathblade Sorcerer, another one of the 7 strongest sorcerers. Lucas tells Ray that he participated to show off his true strength. He wants to fight Ray eventually. He wants to fight Ray at his strongest, when his overheat has been treated, so he gives Ray till next year. In the basement, Lydia and Abby use Carol's skill to try and interrogate the Grim Reapers. During the interrogation, their heads explode. I guess a man can only take so much plot in their face. After the tournament, the school is going to have a festival. Ray, the man of culture that he is, suggests that they perform a maid cafe. At first, the nobles are against pretending to be service workers, but Carol decides to cosplay in a maid outfit, and that was enough to get everyone on board. She almost convinced me to get a maid costume too. While Ray and Amelia appreciate their victory, they're approached by Rena, one of the Garden Club members. She drops a jaw-dropping bombshell. Rebecca got engaged. Ray goes to congratulate Rebecca on her engagement. He shakes her hand and notices something off, but he doesn't talk about it. The class is making preparations for the maid cafe. Ray tells the boys in his class that Alyssa agreed to put on the maid costume. Naturally, everyone is excited to see that. Ray goes to register the maid cafe for the festival. Rena is surprised that Ray managed to get the nobles to agree to do a maid cafe, and Ray drops this heavenly quote.
Everybody loves a maid outfit. They transcend social status.
Write that down. That's the wisdom of a Rizology graduate right there. Ray notices that the other members of the committee aren't around and asks about it. They tell him that the reason is because Rebecca is engaged. The man that Rebecca is engaged to was originally supposed to marry one of the other committee members, so Rebecca snatched him away from her, causing trouble in their club. Ray offers to help fix the club's issues and bring the other members back together. After leaving, Rena catches up with Ray and tells him she's suspicious about the engagement. It's too sudden, and since Rebecca is part of the top 3 families, having a wedding spring out of nowhere is fishy. Ray decides to go talk to Lydia about the engagement. He tells Lydia about it, and she decides to help him investigate. Lydia asks him what he's doing for the school festival. She's shocked to find out it's a maid cafe and wonders what he would think if she wore a maid costume.
My master in a maid's outfit? Oh man, that's hilarious. Might as well dress up a silverback gorilla.
For the first time ever, our boy blunders in his riz. Even experts can make mistakes apparently, after escaping that near-death experience. At Rebecca's house, even her younger sister is suspicious of the engagement. She confronts Rebecca about it, but she refuses to talk. The next day in school, the maid cafe is finally set up. All the girls here are definitely gifted in more than just magic. This is why Ray graduated top of his class. He can make more than just normal magic happen. As usual, he works his charm on the girls. After school, Ray sees Rebecca walking home and decides to accompany her. On the way, they run into Rebecca's fiancé, Evan. After finally seeing him, even Ray feels like there's something off. He's called to meet with Lydia, Abby, and Carol. Together, they figure out that Evan might be after Rebecca's sorcery eye, and he might be part of the secret organization Eugenics, the same organization that Ray's former homeroom teacher was a part of. While Rebecca is with Evan, he tries to make a move for her eyes. He swats his hand away. He tells her not to resist. She allows him to do what he wants with her eyes, causing her to cry blood. Rebecca has been having flashbacks to Ray's past in the army, back to when one of the generals died that triggered his overheat. She's not sure if it is actually him or not. Rebecca's sister, Maria, invites Ray outside to talk to him. She's worried about her and wants Ray to help figure out the situation. Ray promises to help her no matter what. Maria hugs him in appreciation, unable to resist him. It took her a whole 3 minutes to fall in love with him. That has to be a new record. Rebecca watches from outside. She gets home and feels jealous of what she saw. Ray also dreams about Rebecca appearing during his childhood. When he wakes up, he sees himself crying blood just like Rebecca was. Several days later, it's finally time for the long-awaited school festival. All the girls dress up in their maid costumes, and best boy becomes best girl once again. Leave it to Ray to take this opportunity and rizz up all genders. Bro is even making some people question their life choices. This must be his true power. He almost ends everyone in the room with his rizz. Do keep in mind that cross-dressing is not covered in this course. That's for you weirdos to figure out on your own. After the day's festival, Ray is called up by his mentors and told that if things continue the way they are, Rebecca will die. The truth is revealed by Rebecca's father, the person who doomed his own daughter. The next day, things get tense. Ray and his mentors are preparing for a battle. Rebecca is taken away for a ritual. Before she leaves, she tells Ray to take care of Maria. Ray goes to save Maria, still dressed as Lily for the festival, and is joined by his friends. They followed him along after Evie told them the whole story. They take out the monsters, giving Ray time to rush ahead and try to rescue Rebecca. Meanwhile, back at the ritual site, Maria has rushed to be with Rebecca. It turns out Evan wasn't a guy after all, but a woman who had previously met with Maria and warned her about Rebecca's death. The real Evan tries to attack the new white-haired beauty. He looks incredibly angry at her. He says he needs Rebecca to ascend because she was born with a special trait. He tries to kidnap Rebecca again, but the white-haired woman saves her and sends Evan away. Ray arrives to join the fight. The white-haired woman introduces herself to Ray as Lizelot. She says she's an imaginary sorcerer. Lizelot wants to force Rebecca to enter Overheat, then have Ray reseal her. This should help control her powers that are eating her from the inside. She tells Ray that he resonates with Rebecca. That is why he cried blood just like she did. This is the contract Rebecca's father signed, to have Lizelot save his daughter. Ray defends them while Lizelot begins the process. At the same time, the others fight the monsters in the forces. They are about to be overwhelmed when Lydia, Abby, and Carol join the fight to support them. With the strongest 7 together, they easily wipe out the rest of the monsters in the forest. The only person left now is Ray, who's still fighting to protect Lizelot and Rebecca. Ray just barely manages to defeat the ogre and save the girls. Rebecca's overheat begins and Ray has to rush to save her. He manages to lock her overloading powers away, saving her life, but not before charming her again. Leave it to our man to drop his rizz even at the most crucial of moments. There truly is never a bad time. Now that Rebecca has been saved, it's time for the school festival to end. Ray joins the girls on the garden roof as the fireworks start. At the end of the day, Ray, who came to the school alone, ended up with friends and beautiful ladies fighting over him. That's all for our class today. I hope you took some great lessons with you. These classes aren't cheap, so make sure to pay your tuition and hit that subscribe button. See you next time.